So we're taking a quiet walk through the emotional basement at night. No jump scares, just boxes labeled "Things You Handled Alone." Here's your script. You learned early that feelings could be loud inside, even when everything outside was quiet. Not loud in the way people usually imagine. There were no dramatic scenes, no obvious crises that would make someone step in and say something is wrong. Instead, it was a softer kind of disturbance, the kind that lives in pauses, in the moments when you needed comfort and found only space, in the subtle understanding that certain emotions had nowhere safe to land. As a child, you began to notice how the atmosphere around you could shift without warning, a change in tone, a look that lingered too long, silence that carried weight. Your nervous system, still forming, started to treat these small signals as important data. You learned to listen beneath words, to scan for tension, to anticipate what might happen next. This is how hypervigilance often begins, not as fear exactly, but as a quiet, ongoing readiness, a constant low hum in the background of your mind. It is the body's way of trying to maintain stability in an unpredictable emotional environment. At some point, you realized that expressing your own distress did not bring relief. Maybe it was ignored. Maybe it was met with discomfort or confusion, or a subtle message that your feelings were too much. So you adapted. You learned to process pain internally. This was not weakness. It was an intelligent survival strategy. A child cannot leave their environment, but they can adjust how visible their needs become. By turning inward, you created a private space where your emotions could exist without disrupting anyone else. Over time, this adaptation became a pattern. As you grew older, people likely began to describe you in ways that sounded calm, steady, or self-contained. You may have been seen as someone who handles things well, someone who does not overreact, someone who can sit with discomfort without showing it. But internally, the experience was different. When something painful happened, you did not immediately reach outward. Instead, you instinctively moved inward. Your mind would begin its quiet work. You would replay conversations, analyze small details, search for meaning, attempt to regulate your emotions alone before letting anyone see the surface. Psychologically, this reflects an avoidant or self-reliant attachment pattern, not in the sense of avoiding relationships entirely, but in the deeper expectation that emotional safety must ultimately come from within rather than from others. You learned that connection could feel uncertain, but self-containment felt reliable. This is why you may find it difficult to share struggles in real time, not because you lack trust, but because your nervous system is accustomed to completing the entire emotional cycle internally first. By the time you speak about something painful, you have already processed most of it alone. There is also a quiet fatigue that comes with this pattern. Holding pain privately requires energy. It means carrying an invisible weight that others cannot easily see. And because your distress is not outwardly disruptive, it is often underestimated, even by yourself. Yet there is also a certain depth that develops from this way of coping. When you spend so much time processing emotions internally, you become familiar with subtle inner landscapes. You learn to recognize shifts in your own thoughts and sensations. You develop a strong capacity for reflection, empathy, and emotional nuance. You may notice things that others overlook, the unspoken tension in a room, the slight hesitation in someone's voice, the emotional undercurrents moving beneath ordinary interactions. This sensitivity is not accidental. It is the result of years of quiet observation. And beneath all of this, there is often a simple, steady longing, not necessarily to be rescued or fixed, but to be met, to have moments where your internal world does not have to remain entirely private, where someone can sit beside it without needing you to simplify or minimize it. For many people who process pain silently, the deepest comfort is not dramatic reassurance. It is the experience of being understood without needing to translate every detail. Over time, some begin to notice that their silence is not only a protective habit, but also a form of communication. It signals resilience, yes, but it can also signal an old expectation that emotional support may not always arrive. Recognizing this does not erase the pattern, but it can soften it. Because the same capacity that once helped you survive uncertainty also allows you to understand yourself with remarkable clarity. It allows you to notice when you are carrying more than you need to sense when your nervous system is holding tension that no longer belongs to the present moment. And slowly, in small ways, this awareness can create a different kind of internal environment. One where pain does not have to be hidden to remain manageable. One where silence is no longer the only safe place for your feelings to exist. And in that quiet shift, processing pain silently begins to change from a necessity into a choice.